Welcome to part 2 of the Google Form questionnaire design. So we actually coded this question up to this point. So we'll just try it on. What was your mode of education? The next question is occupation. And then another question, occupation. So student, short answer. Okay, we'll make this multiple choice. Student, employed, self-employed. So I think these answers are kind of generalistic. It's kind of generalistic. We could work on it to make it a comparison so I could take care of the major occupations. And now before we have others. So section 2, knowledge of library. So I've added a section before now. So if you want to add a section, you tap on this button. If you want to add a video that best describes this entire questionnaire or why you need it and whatever, you can always add it here, right? You can embed a video, either you upload a video or you put a URL where you have that particular video. So they're now supporting YouTube videos inside the questionnaire, especially when you want to do some explanatory stuff before people start. Okay, you could do a short video on YouTube, have it here, tell people, do a live video, like a recorded video, why people should feel and what you're doing. You could show pictures, you could show videos and whatever in that video, upload it to YouTube and put in the link here. That will help people want to feel your questions the more. Okay, for instance, for this study, importance of library, you could look for a short video, of course, give credit to the owner, that talks about the importance of library. All those 2, 3, 4 minutes video, you could have it here, then before the questions, or you could create your own. Section 2, what's the title of section 2 is knowledge of a library. Does it have a description? I think none. So the next question is library a physical place where a collection of books are kept? Right, so that's the question. Sorry. So I'll take off this part. Multiple choice, should it be multiple choice? Yes. Strongly agree. So you have disagree. You have somewhat disagree. So I believe this follows the standards for scale. Neither agree or disagree. So you have somewhat agree. Then you have agree. Okay, I think this scale is 7. It's kind of dicey. Strongly agree. So they think the middle ground here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's somewhere around here. Neither agree or disagree. Okay, that's a nice one. The next question is, how long have you been a student? Now, the questionnaire designer, you have to also tell us whether these questions are targeted at people that are current students, people that have, or is very generalistic in view. So that will help you know how to sort out these questions and so that it could meet its objective. Because some of the questions are asked like they are for persons that were in school before, they are not asked like for people that's currently in school, kind of. So you have to decide whether you want to ask these questions to people that are in school, that are currently studying, either distance learning, full-time or whatever, or for people that are both students or we are previously students. So you have to decide so that the way the questions are asked, you can cover for everybody. Okay, have you been to a library before? So that's the next question. Never. Never. Really. Really. So you're going to learn today how to, after this section, we're going to learn how do we fire up SPSS and put this data into SPSS, because that is very, very primary before we can talk about any analysis. If that the data came in Excel format, it would have been easier for us to enter or like code them. But if we are going to be the one in charge of data, then we have to do the format in which data is going to come ourselves. Have you been to the library before? Never. Rarely, occasionally, sometimes, frequently, usually, every time. Okay, good. Then how often do you visit the library in a week? So I think this is a follow-up question. How often do you? So this is this option has to do with frequency. Okay, 0 to 1 times a week. Oh. Wow. 0 to 1 time. 2 to 3 times, 2 to 3. 2 to 3 times. 4 to 5 times. 4 to 5 times. Then 6 and above. 6 and above. Okay. So, wow, these questions are quite much. Do you often, I think I'll stop in section 2 so that we'll start looking at SPSS. Do you often make research at the library? I think there's a question. So let's take off this. So this is how to delete a particular question, right? You just tap on this button or a particular option. This is if you want to add an image, right? And look at this button you have here. If you want to delete the question entirely, use this button. If you want to duplicate this question, or you want to have another question based on this question, you tap on this. Once you tap on duplicate, all you just need to do is to now change. I think let me do that for this next question. Do you often make research at a library? If the question looks like this same one, or let's say look like this same one, I just tap on this, duplicate. See, have you been? Have you been? I have it double now. I can drag it down so it will be after this last one I just considered. So you can actually drag questions around. So I can now put the question. How often do you make research? See, it's same format, same option. Never, rarely, occasionally. Never, rarely, occasionally. So I can just duplicate this and change the question, right? Did you get that?
Yes, sir.
No, sir, please.
Okay, let me do that again. So I want to delete this entire question. So I just tap on this button, delete. It's gone. So I have this question. Have you been to the library before? I have, how often do you visit the library? That's question. Have you been to the library before? Right? And how often, sorry, and question, this one. Do you often make research at the library? If you check very well, you see that this question and this question, I think let me make them, let me put it together so you can see. Good. Question 2 and question 5. Question 2 and question 5 look similar. When you true or false? in their response.
True.
There's no point repeating the answers. I could just finish this one and duplicate this particular question and just change only the question.
Yeah.
So I will go to question 3 here now, which is this one. I have done the question. So I just tap on it. Look at this button here, duplicate. This is delete. This is marking it required. So this is duplicate. I tap on it, it's duplicate it, to put it just underneath it.
Okay.
But I'm asking it after this last question I've done, right?
Yes.
I'll just need to drag it. I tap my button. Once I see that cross sign, kind of, I'll drag it down, drag it down, and I leave it. And all I need to do is to go pick the question only and change it. That's all. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so I will just make most of these questions required. I tap on it, required. So it will be marked. It will be marked. You see the red button. Okay, let me generate the link for it. And let's see what it looks like. To generate the link, I said you tap on send. You tap on send link, shorten it, which is optional. Then you copy the link. This is what it looks like. What's your gender? What's your age range? What's your level of education? How was or what was your mode of education? Your occupation? Okay, you see next? That's for section 2. So it's telling me I have to fill this form. Why? It's marked required. Let me remove the required option. Let me remove the required option. It's saving, saved. Let me refresh the question, F5. Let me see what section 2 looks like. You see, it goes knowledge library. Are we together? Is your library a physical place where collection of books is kept or are kept? I think that thing should be are kept, plural. Where's section 2? Section 2, right? Are kept, where collection of books are kept. Those books are kept, are being kept. So you see, I can get into section 2, then that way, section 3 that way. So that's how to make something required. So if you make it required, you have to fill it before you can move on to the next stage. So I'll just make all the questions required. Required, level of education required, so that you have to fill up everything before you move on. Required, section 2, required. Required, required. Required. How often do you make use of library? Required. Okay, let us see how many more questions we have. I think we just have one more. I'm seeing strongly agree, disagree, somewhat agree. I think we have something like that before earlier on. So let us duplicate it. The very first question. Is that correct? In section 2. The response is similar to question 6 of section 2. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to duplicate question 1 of section 2 and change the question. So let me go to question 1 of section 2. This is it. Duplicate. This is it. I'll drag it to the end. This is the end. Yeah. So I think we're done. Oh, short. So that's not the end of the question. Okay, is this some more question? Okay, good. I think this is a question that's a mistake kind of, so I'll delete it. This one, I'll just delete it. I don't need it. I think that's the last one here. So is your library relatively calm and conducive for research and learning purposes? Is your library relatively calm and conducive for learning and learning processes? Okay, good. So I think that will be all for this particular question. So what you're going to do is I'm going to give you access to this form. So you're going to complete section 3 of the form. So that's collaboration. So the question is, how can we do collaboration? You tap on this button and click on collaborators. Are we together? Because at the end of the day, if you're going to be working on this research with somebody else, one person can be doing the form, these questions, or constructing the questionnaire. Another person can be in charge of distributing this form and making sure that to be tracking who and who have filled, how many persons do we have filled the form. Then we can have somebody else going to be in charge of extracting the data. That is the Excel sheet that is now going to be used as basis for coding it into SPSS. Are we together? So if you need to add collaborators, you just need to tap on this button so that somebody else can now also either add questions to this or export the data. So please, what you're going to do for me is that you're going to put your email for me on the WhatsApp group for the training. I'm going to add your email here. You are going to see a link. So after today's class, you can write on and do the continue the questionnaire. So what we're going to do is that I'm going to drop the link on the WhatsApp group. Then I will give you guys like 5-10 minutes. You fill up the questions. Let's have like 5-6 responses. Then I will end the Zoom call. When we return, we'll now move to SPSS and see how do we code the responses that we have on SPSS. Would that be fine?
Yes, sir. It's okay.
I'm going to be dropping the link on the WhatsApp group. So all you need to do for me is send me the email on the WhatsApp group also. I will add you as a collaborator. Then everybody fill the form, right? Then in the next session, we're not going to be putting the responses into SPSS. So we'll end the call.